Hello and welcome back to another episode of Fan Behavior and F1 Podcast. I'm Zoe and I'm here with Hannah.
Hi guys.
Happy US GP week.
Woo.
When this comes out, we will be less than 24 hours away.
Yeah.
Flying out
Panic
to
packing.
Austin. How are you feeling about it?
Really excited, really overwhelmed. I literally hate outfit planning. I hate packing. Anyway,
It's the worst.
yeah, send prayers.
Yeah, but you know what? No matter what, like it's going to be fine.
It's going to be the best.
Yeah, you're going to have stuff to wear.
Oh yeah.
We're all going to be okay, but it is a lot.
Mhm.
And like anything, well, I shouldn't say anything in life, but like with most things in F1, everything has been very last minute
Very.
with this particular race, which makes sense because everyone's just thinking one race ahead. You know, the people in F1 particularly, right?
I honestly couldn't imagine living this way though.
Terrible.
I mean,
absolutely terrible.
And it's fine because it's like, it's not that like someone has information and they're just not sharing the information with us. It's that like it's not finalized yet in a lot of like instances.
Yeah.
And so
everything is, I mean, this is just so not how I operate.
No.
Because I am so not, I am a, give me all the information.
Yep.
And then I can mentally prepare and figure things out. I am not a fly by the seat of your pants type of gal.
Me neither.
Yeah, we're both not. So
out here in the street.
So, and then having to just roll with the punches or like, yeah, it's all very not chill for me.
No, and it's all very exciting and it'll be wonderful. 100%.
Totally
and it's
great.
Fine. It's just, we're learning to adapt.
Yes. So we're very, very excited. If you are going to the race this weekend and you see us out and about, please come and say hi. As I mentioned, I think last week's episode, I do have a handful of bracelets made. I'd love to give you one if you see us. So come over. I'll give you a bracelet. Want to meet you guys. We'll be out and about doing stuff. Honestly, like we just can't. I don't think I feel like we will have such a hard time just like following our own schedule that like planning anything for ourselves.
Yeah. It's
just
TBD. I mean, we were just sitting here going through the schedule and we were like, so when do we eat dinner? Like, do we make reservations? And I was like, honestly, I don't know if we should because if we can't cancel the reservation, like have to pay.
Right.
Like, I was like, we can just eat at the
hotel. There's a solid chance that I will definitely want to just
eat Chinese in bed.
Us be quiet, sitting in separate beds, scrolling on TikTok, laughing to ourselves with whatever we're seeing on our For You page.
Yeah.
Sending each other videos back and forth. Which is the best. Honestly, that's the highlight of life, guys.
Well, now I'm kind of sad that we might be in different rooms.
No, I'll come in your room.
Well, no, I understand. No, I know.
Obviously. Maybe there'll be adjoining rooms.
Honestly, I actually thought about that, and that would be fun as hell.
That would be fun.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see what happens. Okay, so this week we decided to do a little. I mentioned this on Instagram.
I learned something new today.
A mailbag episode. Hannah was like, "What's a mailbag?"
You've got mail.
Yeah, basically just gathering a bunch of questions from you guys about Formula One, different things you want us to talk about.
These are my favorites episodes.
Yeah, these are good, fun episodes. I feel like we haven't done one of these in a while. And gearing up for another race weekend felt like a good time to do it. So shall we get started?
We shall.
I wrote them down on my notes. Okay, first question. Who is a recent F1 driver you think would be a good team principal? So I guess it could be currently on the grid or, maybe a recent retired driver. I feel like
Seb.
Yeah, I was going to say Sebastian Vettel, though part of me is like, I wonder how he is. I feel like you have to be, not that he's not ruthless. I do think he has that in him, but there's something about like the Toto Wolffs, the Christian Horners, that's like very particular type of personality.
But wasn't that his personality before?
It was, but I feel like Seb is more like, I feel like he needs to do something like a role within F1, like a sustainability ambassador or like some sort of cause driven position.
Yeah. Okay.
Rather than like the politicking and
that makes
stuff
sense.
that is involved.
Because it's also the happy medium to get him back in, which is how can you retire from the sport because of XYZ, but then come be a team principal when XYZ is still happening.
Right. I mean, he needs to, save the bees.
Exactly.
So that should be his position.
Yeah.
I feel like, and you know what I was just realizing too, we haven't seen much of recently.
No.
Jenson Button.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just like if he only does a certain amount of races and maybe doesn't do like the Asia Middle East portion that we've been in recently. But I feel like he could be good.
Yeah, I think he'd be great.
And then currently on the grid, I mean, George.
Yeah, I always think George.
I think would be good.
And then, you got Carlos with that strategy.
Carlos as well. Carlos would be good. Those are probably the two ones that come to mind. I can't really think of anybody else. Okay. Which current driver would be the best suited to have a female teammate? Lewis, obviously, I think would be, in terms of like welcoming her into the group and like not feeling, well, I mean, I guess every driver is somewhat threatened by their teammate.
Yeah.
In somewhat you kind of have to be, but not threatened, not what's the word I'm looking for? Bothered's the wrong word. He just would see her as another teammate. He wouldn't have this like,
she's a girl.
She's a girl thing. But I was trying to think of somebody else other than Lewis. I actually think I think a lot of them would be.
Oh, I think so too. I just think,
like, George would be good. I think like Charles Leclerc would be good.
Yeah.
Who else? Yeah, I mean, I even think Max would be.
Yeah.
I feel like Max is very like, if you're a good driver, you're a
good driver.
I don't think he really judges people, and I don't want to make it seem like
the other ones do.
Yeah, but they might just be like a little different about it.
Yeah. Insecure.
Yeah, or just not as willing to like bond, or feeling like, oh, my relationship's going to feel different, or I don't know.
Because I just feel like some of them, like if there's races where the female driver is doing better than them,
right,
there would be drivers who would not handle that well, and drivers that would.
Oscar would be good too.
Yeah,
I think he would be good with it.
Because doesn't he have like 100 sisters?
Yeah, that's what I think you said that last week.
Oh yeah,
that he's like 3 sisters,
3 or 4. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. Need you two to discuss all of the Checo rumors that have been popping up, him needing to finish P2 and that random retirement rumor. Let's start with the random retirement rumor that was debunked, but he came out and said,
Checo did.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
There was a rumor that popped up on Reddit this week.
It was very
last
detailed.
week when this comes out. Yeah, I don't remember all the specifics of it. Do you remember? It was like someone's.
There were so many bullet points.
Friend, someone about like someone that works on a track that knows Checo. I don't know. Again, I don't have all the information, but essentially the gist of the post was that Checo was going to announce his retirement following the Mexican GP.
Mm-hmm.
That it's been too much for him, yada yada yada,
sure.
And he's going to say farewell.
I mean, I didn't think it was like 100% true, but I wasn't like, oh, there's no way.
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
Yes, there's always it's like with Dumois. It's like it's like
it could happen.
It could have they said things that have come true 100%, but you have to take every piece of information with a grain of salt.
Yes. Pinch of salt.
Yes. But yeah, Checo did then come out and say, this is not true. I'm not going to announce my retirement. So that has been
I'm being fired.
Right. That has been debunked. And again,
it will be funny if he does in fact announce his retirement.
Well, he's also, the reality is he's not going to announce it also because he wants to get paid.
Yeah. That's so true.
He wants that final. If they're gonna cut out his contract, he's like, okay, well, he's gonna pull the Dane Eric special, give me my money, as he should. But then the other rumor that does seem a lot more valid is that Red Bull have given him an ultimatum that if he does not finish P2 in the standings, that he will be
predicted this.
Replaced. I did predict this, not to YouTube my own horn.
Toot.
And as I mentioned before, Lewis Hamilton, like 30 something points back from Checo. So if you, and that he would be replaced by Daniel Ricciardo, which is quite something.
And
I said this on TikTok, if you are a Checo fan and you want Checo to have the seat, you are going to be on your hands and knees praying for, every race of Lewis DNF. And if you are a Danny Rick fan, you better pray to the altar of Lewis Hamilton, honestly, because he's your guy.
I thought you were going to say he's your daddy.
Yeah, right now he is.
Yeah. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm already obviously a Lewis fan, so it's easy for me to do that. But and I mean, I would root for Lewis anyway. But
I'm rooting for Lewis as well.
No, that's actually one of the questions from somebody. They said, I'm gonna see if I can find it. They said, Hannah, will you be cheering for Lewis now that it means Daniel could be in the Red Bull?
I cheer for Lewis really? Than people would think that
really?
I cheer for Lewis. What do you mean? Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. What?
I don't know. I thought you knew that.
I think I felt that you are neutral on Lewis, but I didn't know that you rooted for Lewis.
Oh, I guess. I mean, to be fair, when situations like this, like Coda last year,
right?
I was really rooting for Lewis.
Yes. But that was really plot.
I guess.
Yeah.
I was really excited when Lewis got pole.
Yes.
Because we'd never seen that before.
Yes.
With our own two eyes.
Yep.
In real time.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely rooting for Lewis in this dynamic because I also like Lewis more than I like Checo.
Right.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I know sometimes I feel like even though it's my opinion and that's okay, I don't want to offend anybody.
No, and again, like I should speak for myself. I don't want to speak for you. Like I don't know if you agree with my sentiment. I don't dislike Checo. I am very neutral on Checo, but obviously I'm a Danny Rick stan to the ends of the earth. So like, again, even I would, if it was like Charles Leclerc has to leave the grid for Daniel Ricciardo to become world champion, like I'm starting, show me the dotted line.
Got it.
So everyone is second fiddle to Danny Rick.
That's
for
fair.
Me personally. But yeah, I'm really curious. And actually I saw, someone said this on a podcast that like over the last 3 races, and I don't have the exact number, but it was like over the last three races, Lewis has outscored Checo by like 20 something points, maybe more than that. And the difference is only 30 something and it's over 5 races. So like if it continues, it did hurt Lewis greatly that he DNF'd. And George, that's the other thing. Like, because I've actually heard some people talking about that start from Qatar.
Yeah.
And like Lewis was on softs behind George. And so the reason that Lewis was on softs was so that he could get ahead of Max at the start of the race.
Okay.
Like his whole goal was to like utilize having soft tires at the start and get a lead. And, so part of me was like, I don't blame George for what happened, but like he had to know that was hopefully told to them, like make sure that Lewis gets that spot. And I feel like George wasn't really like
dialed in.
Yeah. And so I need George to be on his P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Which for the greater good, because George is also a Danny Rick fan.
Yeah. It's so true.
So like let's all collectively
for the good of the group.
For the good of the group.
Yeah.
Let's get it together.
Yeah.
And Lewis, I think Lewis likes Danny, so yeah, I think so. He said last year
he'd also like to be P2 in the championship. So
also like,
I think
I
think that's the higher goal, but like the benefit is that
I mean
Danny's
he did say last year, he said that Daniel deserved to be on the grid.
I remember that.
And he spoke out on behalf.
And it's nice because when you attach your goals to someone else's, makes you better.
You know what is a problem in this situation? Is the Lewis Hamilton father and Checo's father relationship.
It's a bummer
but it's not a problem. Detracting.
No, I think they still love each other because they still have been through something that not many other people have been through, which is having sons in Formula One.
Right. And also not being like complete and total assholes like some other dads.
Yes, some other dads. Who do you mean? Which ones are you talking about?
I know that Lewis and his dad had struggles in their childhood or as they got older, but I think they've healthfully worked through their problems. So there's that. All right.
And then there's some who haven't.
Which is fine. yeah, I'll be curious. I mean, I'm obviously like, that's the storyline for me.
Yeah.
For the rest of the season, because there's nothing, I mean, obviously the championships are all locked up. So it's like, what else can we be like looking for?
I also would genuinely rather Lewis be second in the championship.
Yes.
All the other perks are awesome, but I would prefer that.
Well, and also a lot of people have been saying too, like, and they've, Christian's come out and talked about this. Like, I think they are genuinely really worried about McLaren next season.
Yeah. Because I heard that too, and please don't quote me on this, obviously, but that McLaren has scored Red Bull or Checo?
Red Bull, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
And like I can't remember how many races it's been, but yes.
Yeah.
And obviously, their cars are very close right now on pace, and Max is still faster, but Lando and Oscar are like right behind them, and they're together.
Yeah.
And then you have Checo, and so going into next season, it's like, and you think about where McLaren started, how far back they were, and how much they've gained. It's like, well, shit. Imagine if they'd had a really good car at the start of the season.
Yeah.
So
curious.
I understand Red Bull's fear about it and going into next season, though I do feel like they are, this is a mess of their own making, because like, is any teammate going to be good in this seat?
Yeah.
Like, but whatever. Okay. Speaking of that, actually, the next question, do you think Daniel actually deserves the Red Bull seat?
I really don't like these questions, only because like, what's the rubric for deserving?
Like, is he fast enough? Is he capable enough of having this seat? I think that's probably,
they think so,
right?
And I think that's
what it is. I think it's not really for us to say. I mean, it's also so hard too, because we've seen him for 2 races at whenever that was, July, after having not raced for so long, and then he gets hurt. So we really haven't seen him. Like,
it's still crazy to me that like he's involved this season.
I know, it's so strange. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the simulator times, tell a certain story and give them at least some like benchmark of like where of like where they feel like he would be if he was on the track. I think, and I said this too in a TikTok video, like, the reality is that Daniel's the only teammate of Max's that has like been able to compete with Max.
Yeah.
And I know Max was a lot younger. He was a much less mature driver, et cetera, et cetera. But Daniel also didn't struggle with that car. Like, I feel like every other driver has struggled with the car.
Yeah.
So I think yes. And the reality is they just don't have any other options.
No.
And it's a risk for them to go with. I mean, Daniel may not be faster than Checo. Who knows? I don't know. Well, I think I do. If I had to like put money on the whole situation, I do think that Checo will finish P2. Like, I just think if I were to actually be betting on it, and I think Checo will start the season with Red Bull, but
be replaced pretty quickly.
But I wouldn't be surprised if anything happens, So we'll see. Okay, next question. Favorite teammate duo ever? I mean, I think for me, it's Pierre and Yuki.
Okay.
I think so. Just in terms of like overall dynamic, just like the content that we got from them.
Yeah.
I did love Daniel Max.
I've been seeing a lot of like clips, and I haven't watched a lot of it, but of Carlos and Lando.
Yeah,
Carlos.
Yep. Carlando's great.
The Mariah Carey video.
Mariah Carey. I mean, it's like Mariah Carey. Yeah, they were great. And I also love Charlotte and Carlos.
Yeah.
But I think, personally, Pierre, Yuki, just the like the sort of like sentimentality of them together.
Yeah.
I think it like cut deep.
Also, can we really talk about the fact that, or really quick, talk about the fact that Yuki is a girlfriend? Maybe question mark?
Yeah, we don't know for sure, but yeah.
That's why I said maybe question mark.
No, I know.
Allegedly,
I know.
Like, do you think they double date with
Kika and Pierre? I don't. I have no idea.
I'm so curious.
I know.
Anyway,
good old Ukes.
Red alert.
Maybe. Oh my god, we need Yuki to Maybe Yuki. Well, I don't want anyone to take out Checo.
No,
but because also wonder, because this is also for Liam's sake too, because if Checo does get replaced by Daniel,
so Chinese farmer, it's always Chinese farmer.
It always comes back to Chinese farmer. If you don't know what that is, I'm so sorry, because we talk about it all the time.
Yeah,
look it up.
Yeah,
look up
it's a great fable,
the fable, parable, whatever it is, of the Chinese farmer. But it does.
It tracks.
Gives you perspective on life. It definitely will help you get through
at every turn
stuff. Yep. Literally every turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Turn 1 coda.
I can't wait to see if there's any turn 1 incidents.
Just
I understand.
Yeah. Okay.
Not Daniel.
God, now that you said it, now it's like it's out there.
No, it's not. It's out there. Rein it
in. He's gonna be back. He's gonna be starting from like P16, so he won't be.
Why?
Just because AlphaTauri is so not that good. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he was starting from the ends of the grid. Yeah. Okay. If you could work for any F1 team, which would you choose, just based on vibes?
Ooh, just based on vibes.
What do you think is the best vibes? I know it's tough.
It is tough.
I mean, I love AlphaTauri vibes.
Yeah. This doesn't really make sense to me, but I immediately thought Aston Martin, but I understand because it doesn't really make sense.
After that push.
No. But it's not the drivers. It's for Fernando, but it's also like what the social media team is doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Vibes are slightly off at Ferrari.
Yeah. Williams, I think, would be fun.
McLaren could be fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams. I mean, I think you could find good aspects of every team.
Yeah.
Like there'd be fun parts of every team.
But yeah, I would love to do. Well, I don't know. I think Formula One events would be really fun.
Right, because I'm obviously thinking at it from a perspective of like I'd be like a social media manager.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about it as a
so
hospitality.
Like, I want to do like social media stuff with.
Yeah, and so from an events perspective, I'd want Rebel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and their budget's probably so insane.
Yeah. Okay. You have to let some frustration out in the paddock. Whose door would you like to fuck smash right now?
Taylor Swift's
in the paddock, Hannah.
Respectfully.
Don't worry, there's a question about that.
I figured. I don't know.
I mean, I would
Lance?
I was gonna say like Lance Stroll's driver room.
Yeah. I mean, I feel pretty neutral about everybody else right now when it comes to smashing the door.
I would like to fuck smash Gunther's door just for like the story. And I did
just so he can yell at me and say, "Don't fuck smash my door."
Exactly. He did not just fuck smash my door. I feel like we haven't really heard much from him recently. Like,
what's going on?
I know, it's weired. Like, where has he been?
I miss him.
I know.
He's never on the pit wall anymore.
He's never on the pit wall. I actually maybe he was fairly recently. I feel like he was actually.
Or maybe it was one of the races I was going.
Yeah. But the truth about Gunther is like obviously Haas is not like a top team, but like he really shines with Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
Like, because that's when he has
top tier energy.
Exactly.
Yeah. I cannot wait for the season.
I know. Lot to
pack in.
Yeah.
Daniel's gone. Daniel returns. Daniel hurts himself.
Yeah, always main character energy. Always main character.
So right.
Like,
oh my God, he really is. He wrote the best plot twist of all time.
He's never not the main character, and that's on God.
That's on Father Lewis Hamilton.
Yes. Because Daniel is praying to his father, Mr. Sir Lewis Hamilton. Aren't we all?
Yeah, light a candle.
Anyway, okay. I understand DRS, but also don't. Can you explain it to me in an easy way?
First of all, fair.
Would you like to take this, or do you?
I would like to try.
Yeah, please.
Because I understand watching it, but I don't know if I can explain it. So basically, like the Reader's Digest version. It's
Dummies,
basically
DRS
like
for
a
dummies.
turbo boost button, essentially, like that gives you some extra speed. But you can only use it if the car in front of you is 1 second or less away.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yep.
Okay.
Ahead. Yep.
So, or ahead of you. So if they are like 1.2 seconds ahead of you, you cannot use DRS. And you can also only use it in specific zones of the track, which are labeled as DRS zones. And I think that's it. Have I missed anything?
No. So basically, yeah. So every track has a certain number of DRS zones. Some have like 1, I think up to 3. Some tracks have 3, which are basically just like designated aspects of the track where you are allowed to use your DRS. But in order to use it in that section, there's a DRS detection zone that's like right before it. So you have to be within that second of the drive of the car in front of you when you get to that zone. And then you press your little button. I mean, obviously it's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Drops the flap down in the back wing, and it'll give you, I think, like 15 extra kilometers of speed, something like that. And then you have to release it once the zone ends.
Yeah. And everyone can use it in qualifying.
Yep.
In the DRS zones. You don't have to be, because obviously
why Red Bull's so fast.
Yeah. And then also, like, obviously when you're the leader of a race, like Max, most of the time, he never really gets to use DRS unless he's behind somebody, because you can only use it. That's correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's also why, like, you'll hear people talk about DRS trains, which is basically when like 5 or 6 cars are all behind one another, but they all have DRS because they're all within a second of each other. So it sort of negates the DRS because everybody has it. So it becomes very difficult for anyone to pass because every car in front has it. And that's why people can get kind of backed up, and it can become this whole thing. So yeah, that's basically it. Reader's Digest.
Yeah.
Okay. What will you guys actually do if Daniel Ricciardo gets a podium?
I think I could probably shed tears.
I will definitely cry.
Yeah.
It depends on like this whole situation. Like,
yeah.
Is it a surprise podium? Like, is it like comes out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he didn't there's actually like no way he could get a podium in the AlphaTauri, but like it would be like something like, the car's terrible, but like he somehow manages to get himself on a podium. I would be like so overwhelmed. Obviously, when someone has like a really fast car, then it's more of an expectation.
But even like the first one,
it will be just
so excited because I can see his smile. Like, it's just gonna be so good.
Nature will be healing. Like, it will be for everyone involved. Well, every Danny Rick fan.
I hope we're watching that race together, because we will lose our minds. Like screaming, crying, laughing so hard we cry. Zoe will throw up.
And a Daniel win would just be like a whole other.
Oh yeah, because we're just talking podium. A win, and I'm curious about what next year. Because to your point, I feel that Daniel is going to be in the Red Bull seat, and maybe that's just being naive or wishful thinking. I don't really care. But that's how I envision next year going. And I think that the McLarens will stay as competitive as they are being right now. And I just am really excited to see Max, Daniel, and Lando on a podium all together.
That would be nice.
It'll just be so nice for Lando and Daniel to be there together.
For there to be like like Daniel and Oscar, and like them play like the Australian national anthem.
That as well.
Have that bond together.
Yeah.
Be nice. Especially after,
do a shoey.
Oscar. The shoey moment.
The shoey.
We do a shoey.
Oh, we will?
Yes.
Can we buy new shoes?
No. If Daniel gets on a podium, we'll do a shoey.
Okay.
We have to.
Okay.
We have to.
All right.
Yeah, that'll be a great day. Will I be happier than I am right now about Taylor and Travis if Daniel gets?
No, probably not. But close.
A win would be a win would be there.
Yeah.
For me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Which F1 driver are you each most alike? I think we figured this out. I think we said that I'm assuming this is obviously personality wise.
Yeah.
I'm most like Carlos, and you're most like George.
Yeah. Yeah.
In certain ways.
Yeah. And then not in other ways, but definitely. Yeah. I'm George Russell.
Carlos is kind of like, how do I say this nicely about myself? He's like controlling, thinks he knows everything. Sometimes he does.
Yeah. A lot of times he does.
Yeah.
Which is why he feels so convicted in his knowledge.
He sort of like takes control, takes whatever. And I also think like the way that he is, like his just actual personality, he's like friendly and like has friends and stuff like that, but he's not like an overly outgoing person.
Sure.
Which I feel like that's kind of how I am. And I feel like he also kind of like he's someone that kind of matches the people he's with's vibe.
Yeah. I would concur.
Yeah. Like the whole like, not that I'm this smart, but like his, I'm going to give Lando DRS so that he protects me.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the way that it's like, okay, what do I have to do next? But George is kind of similar to that in a way, which is kind of how you are, which is like, okay, like what's the next step? Like what do I have to do? Like he's kind of like always moving around, like next thing. And I feel like you're kind of that way too.
And president of the Drivers Association.
Yeah.
That's some shit I would do.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think of who else we have like aspects of. Like I feel like you have a little bit of Charles Leclerc. Okay. Because we've said like I'm, the Charles and Carlos dynamic of like that one video where he's like, go. Charles like, that was rude, but okay. That was iconic. That was so funny, actually. So rude. Yeah, that was rude, but okay. And that's just kind of I don't know.
That's just kind of
This is kind of Unfortunately, George very close, but not a Pisces. Otherwise, it would have been perfect as the Carlos.
So true.
Virgo George, but
what
that's okay.
Is he an Aquarius?
He's an Aquarius.
Close enough.
As is Pierre Gasly. Which whatever. Okay. Is Oscar World Driver Champion material?
I think so.
100%. Yes, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's this good as a rookie in Formula One, then he definitely has.
Yeah, I'm excited to see.
He's got that championship.
More of Oscar
material. Okay, build a new F1 team with existing drivers and principals, but they can't already be on the same team.
Okay.
So two drivers and a principal. I'm gonna say Toto Wolff is the principal, Daniel Ricciardo, and Charles Leclerc.
Okay. I am gonna say probably Toto Wolff as well. And this is random, but it's my first gut instinct.
Yeah.
Oscar Piastri and Alex Albon.
Wow, that's a good duo.
I feel like it could be fun.
Totally.
They're just like they're competitive, but they're chillers, and I feel like the content would be good.
Yeah, I still would like to see. I feel like they would be really fun. I would love to see Yuki and Alex as teammates someday. Yeah. I think they have like a sweet friendship, and they have like fun, chaotic
banter
personalities.
Yeah.
And they'd be funny. What rule change would you bring in from IndyCar to Formula One?
Ooh.
I felt like...
Oh, you've said this before. What? Go ahead.
Well, my thing is points for every position.
Oh, yeah.
They give points for every place you finish. And I just feel like... there's... it would be fun for there to be a reason for someone to like race really hard. Obviously, people, they're naturally inclined to like race, and I don't know that they think as much about like, oh, I'm in 12th, so I'm like, it's not for anything. But like, what one time, what race was that? Spa? No, Hungary. Lando was like, they're not even going to race for their,
Yeah,
it'd be nice to give everyone something to race for.
Yeah.
And if it's like for 14th position, but it's for an extra point, it's like, I don't know.
It matters.
It makes there's something up for grabs in every part of the race.
Yeah.
And maybe you started out with just the sprints, like the sprint races have points, and then you see how that kind of works, and then you can transition it into the actual races. But I'd like that.
Well, I feel like you've said this before, but I think it's during qualifying if they cause an incident at all, like they lose.
Yes, a red flag.
Yeah,
if they cause a yellow flag, they lose they lose a time, I think, or like their fastest time. And then if they cause a red flag, I think they lose their 2 fastest times. And yes, that's something I'd also like to bring, because it does feel slightly unfair for someone like I mean, we saw it in Monaco. Like if you're, pole position and it's like a minute left in qualifying and you crash, you shouldn't get to keep your pole position, in my opinion, unless it's Daniel Ricciardo.
Well, sure, but because it becomes difficult to understand if it was
intentional,
an accident or
Yep.
So like strategy.
Yeah. Who would you love to see as teammates in the future? I guess we kind of already. Well, I guess. Let's say like realistic teammates, like people who actually we think could be together at some point.
Well, I'm genuinely excited to like experience Max and Daniel
Knock on wood.
And then
I'm trying to think of like who has potential to like move elsewhere in the future. I mean,
I'll be really curious about the Yuki Fernando potential. Like really curious.
That would be
beyond curious.
Something else. Legendary status. That would be like that is a movie waiting to happen. Like old man and then like young crazy kid.
Yeah.
But they're teammates and they're not afraid. They both are not afraid to let you know what they were thinking. Iconic.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Thank you.
Will it happen? Doubtful.
Hard to say.
I think one of those two is. I think it's either one or the other, unfortunately. I mean, in a realistic world, unless Lawrence sells the team.
I think he is selling the team.
Oh, this is funny. Would you date someone who hates Formula One?
As long as they don't like make it their whole personality. Like, I can't believe you watch. Like, it's a big part of my life now, which is crazy. And like, we're all surprised we're here. But
hate is a strong word.
It is strong. I mean, it's like, I don't love watching football, but like I do it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but that's different.
Yeah, I guess because
it's one thing for them to like just be like, it's not my thing, but like you do it like you do it. That's totally fine. But if someone's like, I hate this, I actually think no.
It's probably, and there's probably just like a lot. The thing is, there's a lot more we probably don't align on, and so it just isn't going to work anyway.
That's true. Yeah, if they came out and said right out of the gates, like, I hate Formula One,
and be like, okay, well, I'm trying to make it my whole livelihood.
Like
so
a part of, it's a big part of who it would be. Like someone saying like, I don't like
Taylor Swift.
That's even like different because different. It's not
basketball or football.
I don't know. There's something about the fact that we have this like podcast and this stuff
that
it's
true.
Makes it like those things are all hobbies. This is a hobby, but it's more than that. So probably not.
It's their personality.
Exactly. What driver that isn't really talked about as a future world champion do you think has potential to be world champion? Anyone come to mind?
Well, I don't know if this is like, again, me just like wishful thinking or if there's any merit to it, but I feel like in the right car, Alex Albon has potential.
I was thinking Alex Albon as well, just because I feel like he doesn't get the I don't want to say he doesn't get he does get respect. Like people have been talking very highly about him, but I don't think he gets the like, he's not in the same conversation as like the Charles Leclercs, the George Russells, the Oscar Lando. A part of me does still feel like Pierre Gasly has something to show. I think I don't think he'll ever get into a top car. I think he kind of had his chance with Red Bull, and I just don't ever see it happening at Mercedes or, I mean, I guess Alpine could someday become fast, but let's be honest.
Someday is not soon.
Yeah. And who else has like I don't know that anyone else is like really, I mean, I would love to say Yuki, but I think Yuki has bigger dreams.
Yeah. So restaurant,
long-term dreams. What races are on your bucket list?
Silverstone.
What else do I want to go to? I mean, I would love to go to Japan. I think that would be so fun. Just because all the fans just seem like so fun and like not scary like other races. No flares. Brazil.
Yeah. Interlagos.
Actually, Mexico City.
Yeah, I've really wanted to go to Mexico City for a long time.
That would be cool. And I mean, I don't know that the track I do kind of like the part of the track that goes through like the big stadium. I think that's kind of cool. But in terms of like, I don't know that it's like the most aesthetically pleasing. It's not like Spa or something that's like so beautiful, but I think the vibes would be fun because I think that's really what it is. It's like if you're going to go to a race, you're going for vibes, and like you're around good people where you feel like positive energy, fun time, like woohoo. And Australia. Yeah. Oh, that would be so fun.
Can I tell you that it's never occurred to me to go to a race in Australia until right now?
Oh my God, that would be so fun.
It would be fun. We'll put it on the list.
Yeah, like we could probably get sent to Australia.
Well, I was thinking that I wasn't gonna just like blast it on the pod.
Well, I'm saying if someone that's listening and they want to
Qantas Airlines, if you're listening. Yeah. And I'm not. I flew Qantas Airlines once as when I was in high school and I went to Australia, and I'm telling you, it's the best airlines I've ever been on.
Okay.
And I'm not just saying that for this, but like everyone's delightful. Please send us.
I mean, literally, you couldn't find, well, maybe you could, but you couldn't find, I don't know, two bigger Daniel Ricciardo fans and emerging Oscar Piastri fans.
Yeah, we're emerging.
We're emerging hard.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean?
No, I know. It's just a weird sentence.
Please. Okay. Anyway.
Well, now that that's out in the universe, thank you.
And we love Scotty James.
So true. Oh my God, I love Scotty James.
Yeah. And what other Australians do we like? Margot Robbie.
What's Erwin's son?
Oh, Robert.
Like
Bindi.
Love Bindi.
I know he's not Australian, but like Oceania Liam Lawson, we definitely respect him and his hustle.
Wait, why was Robert Irwin on Dancing with the Stars?
Bindi was.
No, I know, but why did we start watching Robert doing stuff? I feel like there was like a show that he was on.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Go in the archives for that one. You should be sorry.
Hugh Jackman, Nicole Kidman, the Hemsworths.
I know Keith Urban is honorary. I love his hair.
Honorary. Naomi Watts. Sure. That's all the Australians I can
When
think
you clip this, will you just clip us naming random celebrities with no context? And just have people guess what we're talking about.
But our favorite, Sam Kerr, the soccer player, I love her.
Mm-hmm.
But our favorite Australian is Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Which WAG closet would you want?
Oh, good question. Lily's. Probably.
Lily, or I would say I do love Carmen's style.
I do too.
Like a lot more classic than I dress. I also like Kika's outfits.
I haven't seen a lot of her outfits, but yes.
I mean, I think she has cute stuff.
Yeah.
Lily probably has the most direct style comparison, like to what we would wear. This person said, "Do you think Pierre snores?"
Probably. I feel like a lot of them probably snore.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oof. Disgusting.
Like I bet Daniel snores.
I bet it's like quiet.
Yeah, like mouth breathing. That's the worst.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely like hit him with a pillow. Which F1 driver would you not want to listen to your podcast? Who is it like would be like what? Checo?
Well, and Esteban and Mary Lance.
Yeah. I mean, okay, a driver that I wouldn't love Daniel to listen to like all
That's no fair. Yeah, that would be a little humbling.
Yeah.
Like, this really can reach everywhere.
Yeah, like it's a little embarrassing.
Yeah. I have thought like certain clips, like when we see that like people have seen our stories, but I'm just like, have drivers seen our clips and we don't know, and like what clips was it, and am I embarrassed? Like, do I need to be embarrassed?
Yeah,
and
it's whatever. At times it can be slightly embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? It's fine.
Yeah,
it is what it is. We have to be true to ourselves.
Amen.
It's kind of like the thing that people like. You have to just, you can't worry about what people. You have to just speak your truth.
Yeah,
and
we do that,
and we do that here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is non-F1 related question. So you can tune out and the podcast here if you've had enough, but people have been asking for it and we do have to provide the people what they want. I'm going to clip this out as a YouTube thing on its own so that we can have,
views.
SEO strong with this one.
Yeah, it
is. So they asked, okay, we need a Taylor Travis update from you two. Absolutely loved your breakdown, but I am craving more.
Guys, I'm having a hard time.
All right. So again, it is October 15th at 2:46 p.m. Central Time. So just again, because anything's possible at any moment.
Anything can happen at any time.
Exactly. And we have to be get dressed and stay alert. So last we left it after the Jets game. And lot has happened. We got our last night, we got our first official public photo of them holding hands. It was, and I want to, trigger warning for Hannah and anybody else who's struggling.
Yeah.
It was probably the best thing that's happened to me in
I'm glad
6 months, because it happened to me.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. I was just like, oh, it was just overwhelming.
It's bonkers that that's happening. It really is.
Yes,
I mean, it really is truly, like, it's remarkable that this is happening while we're alive. Like that we're experiencing this sort of event.
100%.
Incredible.
Yes. So let's give some context. So they were so she, under the radar, came to Kansas City the week of his birthday and spent time with him. And we know this because there are accounts which I don't love. It's definitely invasive and it's kind of weird, but they track her jet and know,
because it's public record, right? Because
like the flight number and that kind of stuff. I think it's probably like mildly difficult to figure. Like, you have to know what you're looking for to like figure it out. But they found that her plane was in Kansas City the week of his birthday. And they spent time together, and then she obviously came back for the Chiefs Broncos game.
Not a good game.
But I loved her outfit.
Yeah, obviously. She was hanging out with Donna.
She was wearing
for all the haters, like, Donna definitely doesn't have beef with her. She just didn't want to talk about her on the Today Show.
Yeah.
Big shock.
Yeah. She was wearing a jacket. I guess Aaron Andrews sent Taylor a bunch of stuff from her. Like, she had like a line where she does like NFL, like professional sports, like merchandise, like swag stuff,
like Victoria's Secret pink NFL collection, but like Aaron Andrews version.
Yeah. And she sent her that jacket, and so she was like freaking out. And of course, it's like sold out everywhere. You can't buy it.
I really want to.
I do want it though, because it's cute.
Yeah, but I like the first jacket that she wore
better.
Like
the white and red.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cute. Obviously, she was hanging with Brittany, hugging with Brittany. They're definitely very close. Talking to Travis's dad.
Didn't see that.
Hugged Travis's dad at one point.
See that.
Yep.
Did not see that. I had to shut it off.
Yeah. I know.
I'd have time. Well, because mostly because I just didn't want to watch anymore.
Yeah.
But
so they were definitely friendly. And then, spent a few days in Kansas City, and then they jetted off to New York, where they were spotted going to dinner.
Where'd they go?
Nobu.
Okay.
Yeah, which is, fun. Expensive. And
I hope they can afford it.
Yeah. And so there was the photos of them going in, and I mean, it was just like, I was literally over analyzing every single one. I was like, okay, zooming in, zooming out, watching, I mean, every aspect, every part of it. Then there's the videos of them. There's videos of them inside Nobu that obviously like fans have taken.
Yikes.
Like, of them. It's actually very cute. Like, them walking out, like walking through the restaurant, and they're like saying goodbye to like all of the chefs. Like, how like in kitchen at the open, and all the chefs are like waving like bye.
Cute.
It was cute. The very triggering video I showed you today of them like
was that at
hugging.
SNL?
No, that was at Nobu.
That's so public.
And then they went to the SNL after party. They were at SNL. Went to the SNL after party, and it is crazy.
It's crazy.
And I'd like to give you the floor to just share how you feel and how you're working through this time, because I want everyone to be here for Hannah during this challenging time, because listen, we've all been there, Hannah.
I understand. And I also just want to be so abundantly clear that this is irrational, right? Okay. Like, I understand that the sadness I have is so dumb because it's unnecessary, but it's also the truth.
It's reality.
And it's my truth.
It's your truth.
And so call me crazy.
Speak your truth.
So I was out with some friends last night when Zoe texted me, and I just want to be clear too. And I've told her this, but like, I'd rather see it from her
than be like,
than jump scared on the internet by it.
That's the word. Yeah.
And so when we first started talking about it, she goes, how do you think you'll feel when you see the first pictures of them holding hands? And I was like, I think I'll be okay. Because like, when I saw the video of them walking in the stadium when she came to the first Chiefs game. I was kind of surprised they weren't holding hands. And so to me, I was just like, oh, well, it won't matter.
Yeah.
So then I see the picture and I kind of got a little nauseous. But then they weren't holding their hands like with their fingers laced. They were cuffed. And I was kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of lame.
Yeah. Like that's how friends hold hands.
Right.
You know.
Or like just like he's making sure she gets inside safely from the paparazzi, whatever. Like it wasn't necessarily intimate, I guess. So then I saw the picture of them holding hands with their fingers laced, and then this like incredibly sweet video of them dancing.
It's really cute. And
yeah.
I have to like I don't want to be, because I don't want to be like overly gushing about how much I'm obsessed, because I know it like is hard for you. So I just want to acknowledge that.
Yeah. And like I can understand, like it's super sweet and really cute.
Yeah.
And I mean, I literally sat on her couch, she showed it to me, and I was just like, oh no, they're in love with each other. And I was laughing, but I maybe had a tear from laughing. So
I was gonna ask you, like, do you like I just pulled up on Twitter, there's like, so inside Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's PDA filled date night. Like, is that too much for you to like read that article?
I mean, it's gonna be on the internet. Like, I have to just read it. Like, I have to just consume it and understand.
Okay.
But like, who's writing this?
This is Entertainment Tonight.
Okay.
All right. Well,
do you think it's weird that articles are written about people's like hand holding and kissing?
No, this is inside the like event.
Oh, God.
Is this too much? Do you want to do a live read? Okay. We're getting his live reaction.
Oh my God.
To this news. Okay.
I did not know we were doing this.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. Taylor and Travis seemed to be really happy and having a great night. They kissed throughout the evening. Okay. It's not shocking. I can't scroll. You could tell, like, in the videos of them and pictures of them walking out of the party, like her lipstick was definitely smudged and he had lipstick on his lips. Okay, now this is Frozen.
Rookies.
So hold the phone.
You're holding the phone.
I know.
Do you know what really bums me out?
Bad.
That we don't have crumble cookies nearby.
I know. There's other cookies we could maybe get. Okay. Oh my God. You know what's really annoying is
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce?
No, is okay. Taylor and Travis looked comfortable and happy. They were kissing openly and weren't shy with their PDA. They were holding hands throughout the night, whispering into each other's ear, and they even exchanged kisses. The source who added, it wasn't like they were making out, just sweet moments. Like he'd kiss her on the head.
God damn it.
At one point, he actually told her security guard that he could step aside, like he'd take it from here. This is literally a fan fiction, I swear to God.
Yeah, it's not fun. I mean, I'm really happy for them, and I'm really happy for everybody else.
No, I totally I'm
just having a hard time.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
It's totally understandable. It's not a fun experience to see someone that you love in love with somebody else.
Yeah,
I pictured you with other girls in love and threw up on the street. Taylor Swift's words. She knows. She understands.
Yeah,
she
actually
literally
really
does
understand what I'm going through, and that's wild. But I appreciate her sympathy in this tough time.
Oh
God.
Okay, after congratulating Ice Spice, Taylor comes over to Travis and puts her hands on his shoulders, and he puts his hands on her waist, and they were kissing, then talking, then kissing again, then talking about what food they wanted to order. Relatable.
Stars, they're just like us. They're literally at SNL. I'm like, what should we get for dinner? Ooh, Nobu.
So anyway, it's definitely progressing.
Yeah,
it's definitely progressing. I said this on our Instagram that I feel like they are our David Beckham and Victoria Beckham.
Yeah, I see that.
Have you watched the documentary?
I haven't yet. Okay, I need to. I feel like I'll really
think you'd like it. Also, like, I obviously knew who like I was aware of him like as a kid and like, you know, but he's a little bit older. Like his prime was when, you know, we were like 7, 8, like we were probably too young to really be aware of him. But like they talk a lot about in the documentary, like how crazy it was when they first started dating, because it's like this massive pop star and this like massive sports guy and like the converging of worlds and like, you know, so I felt like, wow, that's really very similar vibes.
But like the fact that Taylor Swift could become like semi-permanently located in Kansas City is wild.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing. It still blows my mind. Like
not on my bingo card for my whole life. No. Not even just this year. Just
no. And there was a tweet that I saw. It was like a screenshot of the like some article that was written when the when that clip went viral of him talking about the friendship bracelet. And by the way, that was in an ad read that they did that. Like,
really?
It was like they were talking about, again, it was like whatever like sort of ticket service that they were promoting. And then they were talking about like, you know, you can go to concerts. And then Jason was like, and I think they mentioned Taylor Swift, and then Jason was like, oh, by the way, how was the Taylor Swift concert? And then that's when he went into it. But I'm like, had Jason never asked that question,
oh, so true,
would we be here now?
Chinese farmer.
But they like took a screenshot of
it's Jason's fault.
Yeah, I guess. So they took a screenshot of the article, and they were like, he was just a guy with a friendship bracelet and a dream, and look at where his dreams come true. So he really is the man. I mean, if we need a proof that manifestation, that, you know, you put out what you want, you can get it. There it is.
All right. Well,
yeah. So you can reverse
what happens if the person I'm manifesting is in a relationship with Taylor Swift?
You know, that's a little tricky. That's a little bit tricky.
It's okay. I mean, I understand that I went through something similar with Harry Styles and Kendall Jenner, but I will say, when they did the spill your guts or fill your gut, love that.
Yeah.
For some reason, that didn't bother me.
Well, because they're not together anymore.
But I think that was the most. Like, I had never seen anything outside of just pictures of them.
That's true.
I think seeing them like interact and like be flirty, they were definitely flirty, would have like made me annoyed, but it didn't.
True.
So I don't know. Maybe in a way, like, I'm glad that this is so public, because I can just like really start to see. I mean, I'm happy for them and I'm sad for me.
Yeah. And as I said too, it's like it's gonna end up one of two ways.
Yeah.
They're either meant for each other, getting married, or they're not.
Yeah.
So it's like,
what ifs?
Yeah. And
they seem really happy, and I'm excited for them. And I'm really excited for the girls to meet Taylor.
They do seem really happy. I'm excited for them. Like, think about the music.
So good.
Like, that's what we also should all be. I mean,
yeah.
And do you remember when I texted you? This was like months ago. And that song of hers from the Lover album that was like,
yes,
all the girls you've loved before or whatever. And I said, this reminds me of Travis Kelce.
Yes.
And there we said it. So crazy.
Yeah. I do also think it's important to point out, if we hadn't talked about this already, that Valtteri Bottas was in our town this week.
He was.
And despite having a lot of information about where he was,
yes,
I stayed home because I didn't want to be a creep.
We respect people's privacy.
Well,
and behavior.
Yeah, a little bit. But also Zoe had some prior obligations and I didn't want to go by myself. And
yeah, it does seem like it's a regular occurrence. I mean,
yeah, I was also just kind of hoping that, like, when I went to Target yesterday, him and Tiffany would be picking up like sustenance. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of hoping for like an accidental bump. Like, I knew he was here, but like, oh my gosh, so crazy. So I did make sure to wear gear.
Right.
Just in case. But like generic gear, because the only Valtteri Bottas I have, I think a t-shirt of his, but it was too cold yesterday.
Right.
But the bucket hat is just like
A+.
But it's just it was too much for yesterday. And it was so windy. I was nervous it was going to blow off.
How embarrassing that would be.
So embarrassing. Me just running through the Target parking lot dressed in case I see Valtteri Bottas, which I did not.
Right. So there you have it. There's the trailer update. You know, we'll keep you abreast with.
You've been saying that a lot lately, and I don't like it.
You've been saying apprised a lot.
Well, it's better than abreast.
I think I like it.
Yeah, I guess tomato.
But
you have reason to believe that Taylor and Travis will be at the Eagles Jets game.
I think it's like people just feel like, well, they're in New York. I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't go, because it's
not his game.
It's not his game, and like I could see them being like, they understand that would be like a spectacle, and they wouldn't. It's like
with the girls
wouldn't want to take away. Also, well, I don't even know if they're going, but like it's wouldn't want to take the shine away from like the Eagles and like whatever. So
the Chiefs.
Well,
I am kidding.
I guess that makes more sense because it's like she's watching him.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
So we'll see. I mean, they do play home again next weekend, the Chiefs. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's back around town.
Do you know what bummed me out?
What?
I was kind of hoping that Lewis Hamilton would be at the Broncos game.
Yeah, well, they are quite terrible.
Yeah, but he's pays to be a part of it. So
maybe Taylor Swift will get in on the ownership of the Chiefs.
Oh my God. She won't.
No. All right, that is it for the mailbag episode. Hope you all enjoyed it. Found some fun in it. And we will be back next week, obviously, with our CODA recap. TBD on if it's going to be available on YouTube. So if you are a YouTube watcher, we might not be on YouTube next week, but check Spotify, Apple. Anything else we need to let people know about?
I don't think so.
Enjoy the USGP. It's going to be a great time.
So
I'm
excited.
so pumped.
Danny's back.
Danny is back. Hopefully better. It's got to be
better warm up in Nashville this weekend.
Last year's race. It's got to be better.
Gotta be.
I mean, there's no way.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
I mean, he was behind Latifi.
It was bleak. So only way to go is up, as JB once said. Okay, guys. Talk to you next week on Shantae.